What's up, guys? DD Quad here, back again, once again, this time bringing you my CPC Season 5 Draft Analysis. Let's go! Whew! I am so fucking hype. This is awesome, guys. So, last season, you saw that I was in the CPC D League, Season 1 of that, the first in its kind, I guess. I don't know, it doesn't matter. But our big goal was to move up to the CPC Majors, and we fucking did it, guys. Granted, the season wasn't as perfect as I wanted to. I kind of stopped recording halfway through the summer. Things just kind of got out of hand when I went away for some work. So unfortunately, we finished. I want to say 7-3, 6-4. I don't know. Anyway, we won our division, and then we lost in the first round of the playoffs. So that was kind of sucked. The team was really good. I really enjoyed the time there, and I guess I did good enough that Foul Up and Shadow decided to move me up to CPC Majors, which is awesome. I'm really excited about it. Yeah, I think that's really all you need to know. Points draft again, same as last time, 110 points with a bunch of different pointed mons. I don't know. I don't know if they really changed the points that much this season, but it just felt really hard to draft. I just had a hard time getting everything I wanted with the points that I had. So we'll see how I did. I think I put together a pretty solid team. Well, let's just go ahead and hop into it. So pick number 1, I wanted Tapo Coco again, same as the D League, and that got taken pretty early on, I believe. So then I wasn't really sure what else I wanted. I didn't really know. I didn't have a whole lot of a draft plan. I knew there were a couple things I wanted, but they're more later on picks. So I figured, let's just go ahead and get a good fairy. I used this in a league for a couple games until the league kind of fell apart, but I was actually really excited using this one. I really thought it was a bad mon in Gen 6. I kind of just overlooked it, didn't think it was worth the points or tiers, but honestly, I think this mon's really good, and that mon is, as soon as I'm able to, there we go, Clefable as my number 1 draft pick for 16 points. Honestly, I thought Clefable was really overrated as a defensive mon and kind of very one-dimensional, but after kind of looking around at its movesets and kind of like playing with different options, I realized that Clefable is extremely diverse, which may not sound like a shock to people, but I just felt like its only role was defensive. But that is definitely not the case. I think Clefable as a fairy can do a lot of really cool and different things, and with a very modest EV spread, nothing crazy, but at the same time, it's all very balanced. So it can definitely do a lot of things. So it's definitely going to be something I'm very excited to use. I'm not going to go into too much detail just because I don't have a whole lot of time. So we're just going to kind of roll right through my picks. But yeah, very excited. Clefable, great fairy type, great bulky offensive mon. Can do a lot of different things. It'll fill a lot of roles on my team. Very excited to have it. So next month I figured, let's try and get a good dragon for the team, because I felt like there were a lot of really overpriced dragons, and I felt like there was some kind of in the middle, but I didn't want to lose out on them. So I was thinking Zygarde, but I think that also got taken kind of early. So I'm like, you know what? Let's just go ahead. Let's get another Stealth Rocker. Let's get something a little bit faster than Zygarde, and let's go ahead and get my boy Garchomp, my boy Chain Chomp, back from my first ever league. I think I've had Garchomp so many times. It's just honestly one of my favorite mons to use in League. Rough Skin is really great for a lot of physical threats, and then I think now with Z-moves, it just hits so much harder, which I think was something that I sometimes felt Garchomp struggled with, just because it really only has its dual stabs going for it, and then other than that, its coverage is kind of meh. I mean, it's good, but it's not great. So I think Z-moves really makes this thing a whole lot more viable, and I'm very excited to use it, especially because it doesn't get Dragon Dance. If this thing got Dragon Dance, holy shit. But we'll make it work with what we got. So Garchomp, another great Stealth Rocker, fills again in that bulky offensive type of role, being able to really pull off some great defensive sets, and also just a complete nuke, and can really just destroy teams on its own. So I'm very excited to have Garchomp. Give me that nice 1 or 2 speed tier, which is really important, I think, kind of bouncing it out, especially after Clefable is just 60. So it's great to be just a couple points above 100 speed tier, so that's really exciting. That's really everything for Garchomp. Oh, and he's my Z captain, as I'm sure you guys kind of heard. So we're allowed 2 Z captains, 1 below 9 points and then 1 above 9 points, and the 1 above can use special Z moves. So I think that, or status Z moves. I think Garchomp, while it doesn't have a lot, I think just the physical Z moves made it totally worth it for me. I felt like I didn't want Clefable also being a Z captain, because I just felt like, I don't know, I wasn't going to use it as well as I could have with Garchomp, I think. So that's going to be my Garchomp. Oh, I just revealed my next one without even kind of giving a little bit of a blurb into it. That's fine. Next up is Roserade. I had Ferrothorn last season, and it was really great, but I also kind of missed the offensive pressure. Um, but again, I think this issue with picking a grass steel and a grass poison type the past 2 seasons as my grass type is that I keep having difficulties with ground types being a threat because Ferrothorn and Roserade aren't really great checks to something like Zygarde, which is just a huge monster to almost every team, I feel like. So hopefully we can kind of play around that. But Roserade gives me a lot of great options. Again, it kind of fits into that mixed bulk role, that offensive bulk role. Great speed at tier 90. Honestly, very underrated offensive prowess at 125 with Technician to boost its HP powers to cool little weapons, I suppose, and then also spikes and toxic spikes, which I think are just so crucial, as well as a couple different support moves. So Roserade is just a really great option. I think it's completely underrated, and I know a lot of great people have used this really well. Like A12's used it multiple times, and I think Roserade is definitely going to be the MVP of this team. I think honestly wish I was able to give it a Z move, but alas, not a huge deal. But I think Roserade's going to be a really great mon, and I think it's going to do some real damage in the league. And I'm really excited to have it on the team as kind of that grass mon. And also kind of supports Clefable being able to take on some poison types for me, and also just being a real threat, in all honesty. Also helps Garchomp taking on this bulky water. So definitely a great mon to add the team. Next up, I wanted a steel type. There were a couple different steel types I was looking at. I was really wanting Metagross. I felt Metagross would be a great fit on the team, giving me some priority as well as Stealth Rocks, among other things. Also just being a great check to top of Lele, which was allowed in the league, and just a plethora of other reasons, especially with fairies becoming so prominent now. Fortunately, Metagross got sniped pretty early by, I believe, Rob? No. It's, I think Jake, or, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who took it, but Metagross did not follow me, so then I was kind of looking around for steel type. I want something fairly bulky, but also kind of fitting into the theme of bulky offense. I felt Skarmory is too passive for what we were trying to build here, so I ended up going with Cobalion, who I think is another really great fighting type and something I've overlooked in the past couple seasons. But while it's not the best steel type nor the best fighting type, it does its role well enough that it's passable. I think the 129 defense is fantastic, along with its speed and HP. 90 attack and special attack isn't great, but it's very viable and it's usable, and I think we can definitely play around with him. He provides great full twitch momentum, which my team is already lacking, as you've seen from my first 4 picks, not having any momentum gain at all. And also just kind of really great support moves with Stealth Rocks, Thunder Wave. I can't think of anything off my head, but those are just 2 great moves in general. So I'm really excited to have Cobalion. He's really going to help pair up and kind of finish out that Dragon Fairy Steel core, which I think is a very untraditional Dragon Fairy Steel core, but it's very diverse in what it can do and also play a very offensive role and a very defensive role. So I'm very excited for this. And that kind of rounds out my top 4 picks. Already down 55 points though, and I haven't even gone through half my draft yet. And it's well over half my points. So a little concerning. So I figured next round we can start patching up holes. Right now I'm feeling really weak to fighting and normal types. So I just wanted to patch that up. I kind of just give myself a really good blanket check to things like Lopunny, Mawile, Mega Golade, just really some of those really big threats that can really damage teams and really grow in popularity. Granted, Lopunny was always popular, but I decided to go ahead and get myself a really good ghost type and a really good bulky offensive mon, and that is Cobalion. Not Cobalion, Cofagrigus. So sorry. Cofagrigus is a really cool mon with its ability Mummy, which allows it to essentially neuter someone else's ability, which is great for things like Lopunny, who has Scrappy, great for things like Medicham and Mawile, who have that huge power or pure power or whatever. So it's just a fantastic mon, and with its defensive stats, it's really able to eat up a lot of hits. I've been kind of playing around with potential EV sets for some mons, and it just can tank a lot of hits and become a real nuisance. In addition, it gets a lot of great support moves. It gets Haze, Toxic Spikes, Trick Room, lots of different setup options. So I'm really excited to have Cofagrigus on the team, not Cobalion, Cofagrigus. And for 9 points, I felt it was just an absolute steal. And yeah, I think it really partners up well with Clefable and Cobalion being able to take on some weaknesses that each have, and also kind of having some really nice synergy. So I'm really excited with this. It's definitely my slowest mon team, which is always important. It kind of makes a couple mons who have the slower tiers have to speed creep on it. So definitely really cool, really important. And I'm glad I was able to get Cobalion. Next up, someone recommended this to me. I was a little hesitant on it. I wasn't really feeling it. My team needed rapid spin support and needed ice priority, and someone thought, you know what, why don't you try my boy Cloyster? Now, Cloyster has that amazing defense, so again, he kind of fits into that bulky offensive not rule on my team. Base 70 is kind of meh, and the rest of the stats are kind of just meh as well. I mean, attack 95 with skill link and all the multi-hit moves are really cool, along with shell smash. Um, Cloister's kind of just there. I'm not sold on him, but I think he does have potential. I think he's something that teams need to prep for. So I'm really excited to see how it works out. And maybe I have a hidden gem. Maybe this can be the Almastar of A12 or the Bangoro of A12 or the Diggersby. I don't know. But I'm really excited to see how close it works out. Worst case scenario, I drop him. But I think a lot of potential here. I think he can do some real damage. And I'm really excited to see how it works out. He gives me spikes and toxic spike support, which is amazing. My team has a lot of different options for that. And I think I can just be able to really stack up against some other teams. And it's going to be a really great opportunity for me and just whittle down teams. And I think Ice Shard is just awesome priority with things like Lando T, Lando I, Zygarde, not Garchomp because that's on my team, but just a lot of really bulky ground, flying ground dragons in general. So I think it's just going to be a really great, advantageous mon to have on my team. And I think a really good ice type. So I'm excited to see how it works out. Excuse me. So next up on the list, I still needed a legitimate bulky water. I was kind of looking over my options. A lot of them were kind of overpriced, and I wasn't really willing to go that high. Alamomola was too passive. Milotic was really high up, and I think it might have already been taken at the time. So I was kind of looking over my options, like, you know what? Let's electric types I think are one of the best types in the tier, so let's make sure that we kind of check them a little bit more. So let's get a water ground type. And I also felt like my team didn't have a whole lot of wish support, so I needed something that could take care of itself. So I decided to go ahead and get Gastrodon. Gastrodon, I think, is another really underrated water type for a lot of different reasons, mainly that grass weakness. But on my team, I feel like I can handle the grass weakness with the mons that I have. And I think Gastrodon really only then is weakened by Toxic, and I have two Heal Bell users to take care of him. So I'm not really scared about him getting whittled down too easily. And I think with that 111 base HP and then solid bulk, I think it's going to take a lot of hits and really just become kind of a nuisance for everyone. And partner with Garchomp, now the electric types need to decide if they want Hidden Power Ice or Hidden Power Grass to take on my Mons. And also just kind of gives me a lot of great immunities with Storm Drain as well. So it kind of sucks that it doesn't get Stealth Rocks, but I think the moveset that it gets and the support moves that it gets is going to make it more than worth it. I'm very excited to see how Gastrodon does this season. Next up, I was getting down to my last 30 points. I still needed a Mega and ideally a little bit more priority. So I was kind of looking down my things, and then I also realized that I needed Electric type. I think Volt Switch is one of the most important moves in the metagame right now. I think you can make an argument for U-turn, but I just think fast Electric types are so important. I was kind of looking over my options, and I was down to one of the Raichus. I either wanted Alolan or I wanted regular. I felt that my team didn't benefit from having the Psychic type and just kind of made it weaker to knock off spam. So I figured, and also in addition, I felt Alolan Raichu was not as good as a mixed set. So I decided to go with my boy, the regular Raichu, giving him the Z Crystal, allowing him to really take advantage of that base 110 speed and be able to spam some really good, strong coverage moves, hopefully to kind of deal with some of the threats that could potentially check it. Raichu kind of has a really good thing going on for it, where it has a 90 split for attack and special attack, which I think will be very beneficial and kind of give me some more options with it, along with Volt Absorb or Lightning Rod, one of the two. Kind of gives me a nice electric immunity again, kind of rounding out that core. And I think it's just really a great mon that in previous generations was a very low tier, but I think with the benefit of being only 4 points and also getting a Z Crystal, I'm going to be able to take on a lot more threats and really kind of take advantage of what Raichu can do for my team. So I'm really excited to give him the Z Crystal. I think Z Thunderbolt or Z Focus Blast, maybe. I'm not really sure that coverage music gets off the top of my head, and I don't want to lie to you guys, but I think those are going to be really great options and really just make Raichu double in value, I think. Excuse me, sorry. So next up, I still needed some hazard removal. I was kind of looking over my options. There was no real Rapid Spinner or Defogger that was really speaking to me and I felt fit on my team. So I decided maybe I'll just go ahead and get a Magic Bouncer. I felt that gave me a lot of different advantages because I can switch it in. It still gets defog, so I can still use it as that as well. But also has, honestly, very solid attack, very solid speed, and kind of just gives me a really good another bulky offensive mon that I think can do a lot of damage for this team and really support it against things that can hazard stack, which are the bigger concern to me, things like Ferrothorn or things like a Cellcore. Like those type of mons, I think this mon can really help me check, and that is Xatu. Xatu gives me a great U-turn, a lot of great support moves. And honestly, just gives me the magic bounce, which was something I really was lacking on this team, was a way to keep hazards off the field. And while this isn't the most reliable way, as long as I'm kind of deterring people from doing that, I think it's going to give me a really great advantage to kind of force people to play different ways and kind of have to predict around me and what I'm going to do. And I think Exalt 2 also has the ability to take on a lot of common stealth rockers and different spike setters thanks to Heat Wave and Grass Knot. So people really have to be careful, and I might be able to catch him by surprise. And for 5 points, I thought this was an absolute steal. And I'm honestly just really excited to have him. He also gives me the speed 95 base speed, which kind of fills up the last little hole I had there. And I think Xatu is just a really great pick. So I'm not going too deep into detail. I'm kind of just speeding along. But next up, we have 21 points left, which is perfect to get me my Mega next. And kind of looking over my team, I felt like I need to finish up the Fire, Water, Grass core. I need a good Dark type. Kind of check on things like Cresselia and Reuniclus. I don't know how to say it. Anyway, so I figured I would go ahead and try out Mega Houndoom. Now, Mega Houndoom is honestly pretty close to just an absolute nuke. Solar power, if we can set up a sunny day, or if we can just set up a nasty plot, base 140 special attack is devastating. Combine that with the new speed tier mechanics, and Mega Houndoom already jumps up the base 115 speed, which is also just fantastic. It allows me to kind of not to worry about its initial base 90 speed and kind of get neutered by a bunch of different things. So this puts me at a really nice speed tier, really great just natural offensive presence, along with things like Sucker Punch and a bunch of different coverage moves, as well as support moves like Destiny Bond. I think Mega Houndoom is definitely going to rise up in terms of popularity as well as viability. I think 11 points is an absolute steal for Mega Houndoom. I think we can definitely take advantage of some of its traits and really kind of just destroy some lives with Mega Houndoom. I'm really excited to have him on the team. Never used him before, but I think he has a lot of potential. He's a little weak, but base 90 is nothing to shake a stick at. Like I can live hits with that. So very respectable defenses. And I'm really excited just to see how everything goes. And hopefully, we're able to do some real damage with Mega Houndoom. Now, last up, I had 10 points. I was looking at the 10-point mon options. I'm like, Mantine would be a really good fit to kind of maybe patch up. I mean, they'd give me another water type, but it would give me a really good defogger, I thought. There are a couple of different options, I felt. But one that really stuck out to me was my favorite mon of all time in draft format. It's definitely underrated to borderline unusable in draft format. I think it's really tough to use and really tough to take advantage of, but the times that I've had it, I've been able to really just destroy opponents with it. And that is my boy, Checkmate, the Bisharp. So excited to have him for 10 points last round. Bisharp, honestly, I think is just extremely underrated. I think people just don't really know what to do with him because he's so one-dimensional, but what he does in that one dimension is honestly fantastic, and you definitely can play around with him. He doesn't have to run just knock off an Iron Head and Sucker Punch. Like, there are a lot of great coverage moves he has. There are a lot of different ways you can set him up. There are a lot of different ways you can run him out. And while he's not an every week mon, he definitely has some really great matches. And I'm really excited to bring him onto a team and hopefully get him the recognition that he deserves. So really excited to have Bisharp on the team. You already know him. We're able to win some games now. I'm just really excited to have him. I think it's a great steal mod for 10 points, and I'm going to be able to do a lot of really cool things with him. So that's pretty much the team. Excuse me, sorry, I'm a little exhausted after giving this little talk. But just run through the team again. I have Clefable, Garchomp as a Z captain, Roserade, Cobalion, Clavigrius, Cloyster, Gastrodon, Raichu as another Z captain for under 9 points, Xatu, Houndoom, and Bisharp. Looking at the team as a whole, I think it's nothing flashy. There's no real flashy mons. There's nothing real crazy about my draft. There's nothing extremely bad about it, but I think there's nothing that makes it stand out as well, which is a good and a bad thing. I think it's a very middle of the road, but what I have is just a lot of really diverse draft picks and stuff that I think are kind of underrated to unknown, and I'm going to be able to really take advantage of that, and I'm going to need every advantage I can get in a league where I'm playing against some of the top people in, honestly, the draft format with A12, Rob, Abe, Jake, Techno. I'm sure there's a lot of other great people I'm missing. Some of the token minority people, Hiker, just a lot of great people. I'm sure I'm forgetting a bunch of others because I'm just stupid. I can't think off the top of my head when I'm rambling like this. But there are a lot of great people, and I think this team can give me a fighting chance. I think I can definitely stand my ground against them with this team, and hopefully come out with a couple wins this season. I'm gonna be really excited. So that's the team. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think of the draft down below. I'm feeling like it's a middle of the road type of draft, but if you guys think it's worse, let me know. Maybe we can talk about different options for redrafting, not redrafting. I can't think of